Llegó la hora de conectarte con Jáquers, profesionales, emprendedores, innovadores, líderes, agentes de cambio. Y ahora su moderador, Javier Hernández Acosta.
Bueno, saludos nuevamente. Estamos aquí en otra edición de Jáquers, esta vez desde Bucarest, Rumanía, con la amiga Ana María Mindruta. Ella es una de las fundadoras de Playouth, una empresa que se dedica a experiencias educativas, pero vamos a cambiar inglés un poco para comunicarnos mejor. Ana Maria, it's really nice to have you here in this Hackers program.
Nice to meet you, finally.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me over this conversation. You're doing a great thing.
Oh, thank you. You too. So the first thing is, can you explain us a little bit about your background, academic background and experiences?
Of course. I'm 20 years old, which means that 8 years ago I came to Bucharest to study at the University of Foreign Languages.
Okay.
I studied Spanish and English.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And after my 3 years of university, I went to the master in communication and human resources.
Why that change in the scope of your education?
I like diversity,
Okay.
and I think I get a little bit bored.
Okay.
So I just went for a master that had to do a lot with people, with working with people, with understanding their needs, with understanding how to communicate better with them. So
when you study foreign languages, what were your professional expectations, if you have one? You know, you were expect to work as a teacher. Do you have an idea at that time?
I knew for sure that I wouldn't be a teacher.
Okay.
For sure, not in the academic model in here, not as an employee. I knew that I wanted to improve my language abilities.
Okay.
Just like that.
And what was the experience and the master of human resource and communication?
I didn't understand the question.
You after you finished the master degree, what were your intentions in terms of labor, or do you have it clear?
No, I didn't have it really clear. I just wanted to work with people, to organize events, to create projects that have impact over people's lives. I just knew that everything I will work, it will be with people that I get along with, that are really motivated, they are really strong leaders, that want to do things and not just complain about why don't things work in one way or another. Why don't we do other things? It's simple. I just wanted to work with people and to organize events.
And at some point you get involved with the alternative university. Can you talk about that experience a little bit?
In the university, I knew that I didn't want to just to study. So I got involved in some organizations.
Okay.
After getting myself involved into organizations, I discovered that there is a university that is alternative. I found out about it from some colleagues of mine, and their enthusiasm was really high.
Okay.
They talked about university, the alternative university, like there is a place where you can study anything you like with whoever you like, as long as you want.
Sounds great.
Sounds great and awesome.
This happens while you were doing the master.
The master, yeah.
So you decided to look for an alternative education at the same time you were looking for the traditional
Yes.
master. How did it go? Did it goes?
I was forced by society and by my parents to follow the master. But of course, I wanted to just fulfill my obligations, to just have the diploma. I didn't really need it for what I was going to do. It was just for the resume. It was for me to check the list.
And in the alternative university, what was the experience of getting involved in diverse topics, courses, experiences?
In the alternative university, it's a bit different because of the Romanian. It's called sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm really nervous. I've never done this before. So, to answer your question, in the alternative university, 2 or 3 amazing things happened. I didn't know it before, but well, that's the beauty of a new experience. I discovered people with the same values and the same passions as I have, and this allowed me to join a theater project.
Okay.
Which allowed me to develop more, to lose my track of speaking in public, to just overcome different emotions that wouldn't allow me to express myself. Then I got into the business incubator.
Okay.
Which I discovered that I didn't want to organize events all by myself.
That was your main passion, was organizing events.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
you know what? Let's take a short break, and then when we come back, I would like you to tell us a little bit of the experience of the incubator experience, and then we will get back into the transition to Playouth.
Sure.
We will get back soon.
En breve regresamos con Jáquers, emprendimiento, innovación, marcando la diferencia. Regresamos a Jáquers, profesionales del emprendimiento y la innovación.
So we're back here, and you were mentioning the experience at the incubator that didn't go as well as you thought. Why?
At the beginning, I was really enthusiastic and I wanted to organize events, but I didn't know what events to organize. There were so many things I could do, and I couldn't decide which one I would organize or do on a long term. And because the fact that I couldn't decide, I just took a break and let all the things set a little bit down into my emotions, because they were happening too fast. There were so many things I've been doing at the same time, and I didn't take time to reflect over my learning experience. So I decided that there's no problem. I just need to take some time to decide. After 3 or 4 months, I organized an workshop about entrepreneurship and about writing business plans. And over there, I met Anna, my business partner.
Okay.
At that time, I didn't know that she would become my business partner. But luckily, we met and we decided that we need to have a coffee together to discuss the future.
And her background is on education.
No.
What's her background?
Is law and economics.
Oh.
Yeah.
So education is kind of a passion of
Exactly, of the both of us.
both of you. And then you have the organizing events passion,
Yes.
and then you mix that up and you create Playouth.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what is Playouth about.
Playouth is a space and a place that people come to learn different things. By people I mean children and parents,
Okay.
especially their parents, because we believe that parents need to get more involved into children's education. So we are organizing different workshops and different classes, from origami to painting to theater to guitar, piano, especially soft skills.
Okay. And what's the philosophy behind that? You know, what's the importance of providing these experiences to young kids? And what's the importance for fathers? Because probably they have two different...
The experience for getting parents involved in their children's education is the fact that children need their parents, and we discovered this by talking with them, by seeing that they have loving needs, affection needs, and I looked as well as at my own experience. I didn't have the encouragement, the motivation, the support to do something in my life. I just had to follow society's rules, to check lists, to check university master and everything, to have a job, to have a marriage
just
and everything.
Linear, formal.
Exactly. So I wanted to create a space in which parents encourage their kids more.
Okay.
And not only encourage them, but support them, understand their needs, and so on. Yeah.
So what are actually some of the products or experiences that you're providing? You do weekend workshops, after school workshops. What are some of the examples of the projects that you do?
Our activity is based mainly on workshops and courses that are happening here during the weekends. But of course, in time, we developed more services. We also created a summer camp for children and their parents. We are leaving Bucharest to go to the mountains and spend some time over there and learning new things, as well as understanding our emotions and why we react in the way we react. During the week, we go to schools, we get involved in many projects. We also have this other organization that we are happy to help, but we donate our time and our resources to help as many children as possible in community centers or placement centers. We are doing so many things during the week for other children, and we are organizing our own activities during the weekend here.
Okay. And what's so there, you mentioned that there are three of you, the two founders and one more full-time employee working full-time on the company. And what are what is the profile of the resources that you use for the workshops? The artists, the academics, I don't know. Yeah.
Simple people who share
Okay.
a passion. We have people that have graduated from universities or masters, but we also have people who also graduated only high school.
Okay.
It's not, we don't ask them to show us the academic diplomas or anything. We look at the character. We look at the attitude, because the attitude is really important.
Mm-hmm. And they need to have something to share, right?
Exactly, and they need to have the enthusiasm to share and the willing and the will to just express everything to other people.
What are the values of Playouth?
Friendship is one of the values.
Okay.
Respect,
Okay.
love, passion,
Okay.
and being there for each other.
Okay. That sounds like a very comprehensive view. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the future of education.
En breve regresamos con Jáquers, emprendimiento, innovación, marcando la diferencia. Regresamos a Jáquers, profesionales del emprendimiento y la innovación.
Okay, we're back here for our last segment. Usually we have out there a lot of students, potential entrepreneurs, and you had an experience of starting something from scratch, and I would like to hear some ideas about the process of creating a new business in any sector. What would you recommend to entrepreneurs?
First of all, from my own experience, I encourage everybody to look at the main human resources they have around them.
Okay.
I started this by asking some friends of mine to share their passions to children. I would recommend for you, for everybody else, to just ask their friend to share something with other people.
Okay.
There is potential, and it doesn't cost you anything, really.
To ask.
After that, look into your soul and ask yourself, what's the thing I want to leave behind? Maybe it sounds cliche, but for me it works.
No, it doesn't. What do you want to leave behind?
What do you want to leave behind? And also, what can you do right now with little? Maybe you have a room. Maybe you have abilities for creating a website. Maybe you have abilities to take photos. Maybe you are good in writing. Maybe you are good in organizing things for other people. Maybe you are good in connecting people. Everybody is good at something. And I think this is called the talent.
Right.
You're good at something and it's really natural about you. And maybe you can ask your friends, what's the thing about you that that's really...
Because it's not the same thing you saying it that other people helping you to identify talents. And
the people you surround yourself are a reflection of who you are.
Right. That's great.
They can always show you the things you are not seeing. And I felt really encouraged when people told me, hey, you're really good at organizing things. And I started asking myself, am I? Let's see. Let's organize something else. Let's take initiative. Initiative is really important, but the attitude and the initiative go hand in hand. And what I would also recommend to people in general is to do. Just do.
Just do it.
Just do it. Anything can be achievable. Anything can be done. Just do it and leave the fear of failing behind, because it's really, you as a human, you failed. You fail.
That's
at
part
many
of the
things.
process.
It's part of our process.
It's part of the learning process. Yeah.
You fail and you get up. The next day, you'll do the other things.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there. Just
So
just do it.
I have to take something from the beginning of the section regarding the incubator of focus, trying to define your areas to your scope. And then you mentioned passion, you mentioned talent, and you mentioned doing things, and I think it's great, the combination, and doesn't have a fear for failure. Those things, those things has a lot to do with your experiences in life. And I will try to take this last minutes to ask you regarding, you had the chance of having a formal education, and you had the chance of having an alternative education that exposed you to some experiences that are not present in the normal education, which is very straightforward, very linear, very traditional. What do universities need to do and need to change, or what do you expect? You believe that institutions, first universities, then schools, to try to produce this mindset that you're mentioning, because we have to cultivate this in order to have people lost fear of failure, look for their talents and passion, etc. What do you think about universities and education in general?
I would recommend for universities to bring other people to share their stories in front of the students.
Okay.
First of all. Second of all, I would ask students to go do voluntary work, to get them involved as possible into different causes.
Classroom is not enough.
Classroom is not enough, no, for sure. I would also recommend that students get more involved into their learning process, because it's both ways.
Okay.
It's also a university that needs to get some things refreshed and get new ideas, but it's also the responsibility of the student to look for other opportunities
learning to
outside
learn.
The university, if that university isn't giving the students whatever they need.
And that's very interesting.
This is what I did.
Right, because usually we used to put all the weight on the universities. Their programs are not updated, or they're not providing. But then you have what you're saying is you have part of the responsibility in creating those learning experiences.
You also have internet, and if you know how to use it, and if you use it right, and you are taking some time and invested in real things, for sure you will find out many information that are more valuable than maybe some classes and other things.
I don't know if this is
the resources are out there.
What would be your utopic university? I never made this question, but because you had the
Have
experience.
you seen Summer School, the movie? The movie Summer School.
No.
I would recommend you to...
Summer School movie. Okay.
Yeah. There's the democratic principle that for me represents a lot. do whatever you need to do, but take into consideration the opinions of everybody else.
Okay.
Try to be as a good organizer as possible by satisfying all the needs,
Okay.
not becoming yourself a pleaser, but just organize events that are really authentic and solve a problem for other people. And I don't know, ask for help. Ask your friends to get involved. Work with what you have. Really, it's simple. I started this business with 100 euros for the website, and now
it is possible to do it with scarce
now
resources.
we are like 30 trainers.
Wow.
Which are willing to help, and the community is growing. People want to help. People just need to believe in something, to be asked for their help. Really.
Well, I think that's enough. I have to thank you for your time and and receiving us here in Bucharest. And I know this experience would be great for students and for our audience. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You very much.
See you at next episode.
Summerhill. I'm sorry. It's not summer school, but it's Summerhill.
Summerhill.
I just remembered.
Summerhill, the
Summerhill,
movie.
the
It's a movie. Summerhill. We will look into it. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Gracias por habernos acompañado en Jáquers. La próxima semana los esperamos en un espacio en donde seguiremos en contacto con los profesionales que dejan su huella a través del emprendimiento y la innovación.